Earlier this week, we told you about a dramatic shift that is occurring in the rental market in the city of Toronto, where for the first time in years, there's a glut of units for rent in the city, and landlords are seeing prices drop and their condos and apartments sitting empty. Well, now we're hearing from viewers that the complete opposite scenario is playing out outside of the city. One woman tells us she's been hunting for a house to rent in Durham region for months, but she says everywhere she applies, she gets turned down.
We've applied to probably about 30 houses in the past 2.5 to 3 months.
Cassidy Horwood and her two roommates say they are perfect tenants on paper. But since May, they've been searching from Pickering to Oshawa for a house to rent, and they've been denied every time. Cassidy and her dad say landlords are demanding more and writing in previously unheard of clauses into leases that allow them to jack the rent. One is called the revocable clause, which gives the landlord 48 hours to renege on the deal.
They can still continue to list their house, they can still continue to field offers, and if a better one comes in, you are then presented again to up the offer of the lease that you've already signed for, or give up that house to the person who's now offering more, even though you've already signed your lease.
And even if you secure the place, they say, landlords often demand enormous sums in advance.
First and last plus 6 months, so in total it was 8 months. They were basically offering $24,000 up front. Wow. To secure that house.
Cassidy and her dad were shocked to find this practice apparently encouraged on the Ontario Landlord Association's website. This blog post from one landlord says, while he tells potential tenants it's not a requirement, he writes, I informed the applicants that I have other tenants renting my places who have volunteered to offer 6 months or 1 or 2 years of rent up front.
It was when I saw that blog on the OLA website that I just kind of went, okay, that's just not right.
Jordy Dent is the executive director of the Federation of Metro Tenants Associations. He says the market forces of supply and demand have dictated what landlords can ask of their tenants. And while he continues to see questionable demands being made of downtown renters, he more and more sees the 905 being hit with rental requirements such as several months' rent up front. Is that legal?
No, that's brazenly illegal. The only thing a landlord is allowed to ask for under the law is a last month's rent deposit for your last month that you're going to be in the apartment, and a key deposit. Unfortunately, the market is at such a frenzy right now that landlords often ask for illegal things. And if you're a tenant, you could try to enforce the law, but then you're not going to get the place.
Steve Horwood says the relatively new practice of landlords employing real estate agents to help find tenants for their properties is contributing to jacked up rents in their area. Jordy Dent agrees.
Because housing's become more of a commodity and not infrastructure and a place to live. So you're seeing more and more real estate agents being used to try to squeeze every last dollar you can out of tenants, whether it's legal or not.
We've been trying to contact the Ontario Landlords Association to get their perspective on this, but we have yet to hear back.